my new principal.
We require them to read at least 30 minutes every night.
All the quizzes I give in here are totally open, though.
This concludes second period.
Yeah, welcome everybody. You see the crowd's gathering, the band is playing. We're going to have all of our parents here to hear about our school, and then everybody's going to go around to all the classrooms, meet all their teachers, and our fabulous leadership group is going to lead parents to find out all those classrooms. So, great night coming ahead. Welcome everybody.
A lot of times I'll post things that are graded or due. So, for example, we had a 1 graded assignment last week, and if you check that assignment, I'll always show how the project was evaluated. And there will always be a little link if the kid's absent or needs to make up points from that assignment.
Novels, we're reading 2 books in class this year. One's called Crash by Jerry Spinelli, and that one's from the perspective of a bully, actually, and the kids love that. It's a funny book, and so we start that off. We're going to start that in probably November.
There's a winter concert. Please put that on your calendar. There is a spring concert. Please put that on your calendar. This 8th grade promotion ceremony is only for the 7th graders to play because the 8th graders will be being promoted. So if you have a 7th grader, that's a requirement for them.
If your child has a notebook, which they all do, you can see them all back here, that's the key. Everything, and I mean everything, that they do, everything goes into the notebook.
Some parents, I notice, have been sending emails or talking to me in the grocery store about how can they help their kids. This you can buy off of the ebooks.cpm.org. It's good for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. But you don't have to buy it. You can go on their ebook link, click on the parent tab, and you can just download the pages.
So what we talked about the first week is safety in the classroom or in the shop. They have to watch a video on shop safety and take a test. I make sure that everybody understands what the rules are. They also have to take a short test on using the hand tools.
It's not your standard social studies class. We are studying skills for adolescents, which are life skills focused on adolescence. We'll talk about bullying, we'll discuss peer pressure, we'll talk about setting goals, we'll talk about what it means to be an adolescent and the changing relationships with your parents and your friends and your new school being more larger, faster paced.
Ahorita nos estamos enfocando en el acto de tomar apuntes. Como una clase estamos leyendo juntos e investigando y los alumnos están sacando apuntes para poder usar esa información y después escribir ensayos.
I really hold the kids to high expectations. I expect them to treat each other nicely. If there are issues, I will move kids from time to time to different teams, but not really focused on outcomes of games like we do volleyball games. We'll play for 5 minutes and the kids rotate so they get to play multiple teams. I just like the kids to be active.
First off, this is spirit class, so your kids in my first period class. So we're the Millhouse Fishies this year, and we're gonna compete in activities at lunch, and then there's kind of fundraisers as well. And if we do well, we go to the Super Bowl, the top 4 teams. And if we win the Super Bowl, we get a day where we go to Golfland, I believe it is. And we get like a day off, and it's just our class, and a couple of the other classes as well.
What we're looking at this level, 7th grade, your students know how to read at this point. They may or may not be at grade level, but they know how to read. So what we're working with is how do you really get the most out of your reading? If you're reading a novel, how do you get the most enjoyment? How do you really get to know your characters? How do you really live your books, if you will?
As you can tell, it's a lot of years of history, 5 continents, and 1 school year. So it's tightly packed for sure. And again, just a little bit of learning styles, as you can see, notes, vocabulary, discussions, and so forth.
If you look in this box tonight, like let's say you go home, they should have it in their binder or backpack. If you see the green stamp, great. If there's 2 stamps, that means look at the higher one because that means they fixed it. And if they didn't fix it, you know, try to encourage them to come in. Hey, go in the next day before school, the next day at break. And folks, when they come back in, it should take 5 minutes max, maybe even shorter.